Are you serious? What? We're on the eve of Ison, Comet Ison. This is November 27th, 2013. Last night, wow, major breakthroughs and events taking place. First of all, a 7-year-old boy was hit with meteorites in Florida. Second of all, massive, major sonic booms happened up there in Montreal, Canada. Heard by a lot of folks called in. And third, a breakthrough. NASA, there was a major CME come off the sun, a solar flare, and it went right at Comet Ison, and NASA captured it on their telescopes, observatories. Also, Jesse Waltman of BP Earthwatch got some more information last night that now NASA is saying Comet Ison has been here before. They're saying that this is an ancient comet that was here over 500,000 years ago. First of all, let's talk about this right here. I want to get you up to speed on the 7-year-old boy hit with a meteorite. I want to thank Matthew Bradshaw for this report, as well as James McKay. What they're saying is that this boy was hit with a meteorite, and this was confirmed down there in Florida. According to the reports, he was walking, he was talking, he was living, he was breathing. A 7-year-old boy who just had a very, very close encounter from outer space. And he has the scars to prove it, folks. Stephen Lippard was playing in his family's driveway when he was hit. Something hit him from out of the sky. His dad ran to the door, saw that he was bleeding from the head. Now this happened on Saturday night, Saturday evening. And we're just now getting a report about it because it was confirmed by NASA that it was a meteorite. Dad ran to the door, saw that he was bleeding from his head. So what left little Stephen with this gash in his head, seemingly from out of nowhere? There was a lot of theories at first. Well, was he hit with a golf ball? Or did a bird do this, thinking he was prey? But the answer, folks, was the boy was hit by a meteorite. And I actually have a picture here. It was confirmed that it was a meteorite by the authorities there at, what's the name of that space place they took it? Oh, the rocks was taken to the Florida Atlantic University. Initial tests showed that the rocks were metallic and came from outer space. Experts are now doing more tests to confirm the possibility that meteorite strikes around the world are incredibly rare. But folks, they may be intensifying. Well, let me show you a black and white picture of this meteorite. There it is in the palm of the father's hand. There's a few, there you see them, 1, 2, 3. They found these now. After the boy was hit, then in the driveway, they started looking around, and they found these, what looks like 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 6 small pieces of meteorite he was hit with. It might have broke once it hit his head, I don't know. But they found these little pieces, and he was hit with them, and they have confirmed they are from outer space. So, 7-year-old boy was hit. Now, he was hit Saturday night. Now, last night, we also know we had a solar flare on the sun, and I've seen the still images of it already. It was a massive solar flare, and the energy went right at Ison. Now, my question is to Jesse Waltman. He will be my guest today from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern on my live show. He's a scientist. He's been on our show the last 2 weeks. He's staying with us. Every week he'll be on our guest as we get until January 15th or so, getting through the 7 days of passage when the Earth has to go through Comet Ison's debris field, which is a very, very, very dangerous situation. Now, originally, scientists have been saying Comet Ison's on its maiden voyage. We've never seen it before. But now they're trying to say it's been here before, 500,000 years ago. Well, let me play a little bit of audio. I can tell you right now, Ison is last night. Ison was traveling 279,000 miles an hour, 279,675 miles an hour, and was only 11.2 million miles from the sun. And now that was 8 hours ago. Ison is much closer now, probably within 4 to 5 million miles. It is racing toward the sun, and anything could happen because, according to Jesse, he believes Comet Ison does cause the sun to create solar flares. Then those solar flares affect Ison, and the solar flares also affect the Earth, as I've been studying. And that's why we've had a lot of earthquakes after major solar flares on the sun. So if everything's the pressure is building, folks. Are we going to have a Revelation 8 moment? Are you serious? I don't know, but I'm just saying something. We got signs in the heavens. Something biblical's going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Can I get some coffee? What? And yes, NBC News said this day was coming. Well, it looks like it has. Here's Jesse right now with about a minute and a half as he explains to you some of the events that took place last night. And he confirms that now NASA is saying that this comet has been here before, 500,000 years ago.
November 26, 2013. Guys, I meant to put this link in the last video, but it is the actual countdown. You can see the speed is increasing, guys. The distance to the sun is decreasing. Look how fast it's increasing in speed. It's got everything, the estimated visual magnitude. Notice it's now at a 0.39. That the lower the number, the brighter. All of that's in there. Now, this is a temperature inversion that I did on that solar burst. The white spots are the brighter. You can see also an Ison. And in that's the hotter spots in the white. Now, guys, right here, this is interesting because now Ison is no longer an object that's never been here. Today's day 26. Look, it's been 581,400 years ago. Notice at the end, the year there in the yellow arrow, that is the period. Now, if you go back 4 days, they had it, look at the period, 400,864 years. Again, the date November 22nd. That was exactly the Mayan, one of the Mayan counts, so they had to change that pretty rapidly. But guys, no longer is this an object that's never been here. This is an ancient object that's returning. Stereo behind CRO2 camera. See how fast that CME is approaching Ison. Again, the instruments on ACE are not picking this up yet. We're watching it, guys. Heads up.
So there you go. He's confirming. Brian Williams said back in January.
We'll remind you as the date gets closer so you can stock up on snacks and beverages, but a comet is coming. A big and brilliant comet arriving in November 2013. It could potentially be 15 times brighter than the moon and visible in broad daylight over the U.S. We will be your Comet Network, and we'll keep you updated.
Now, as Brian Williams of NBC News made that statement on January the 13th, 2013, we did not hear from NBC News. I kept saying, where are you, Brian Williams? You said you would told us to you'd stay tuned, to get stocked up on food and beverages. Where did you go? You haven't said a word. And what about the fact that NASA first said this was a brand new comet never seen before? Then 4 days ago, Jesse confirms, they said, well, it was here 480,000 years ago. But they had to change that time period because that coincided with a date set by the Mayans. So they changed it to 540-some thousand years ago. In other words, they don't know, but they think they know. And Brian Williams finally did speak. From January 13th, he finally came back to us yesterday. He came back to us on the 25th. He finally spoke to us on Monday, November 25th, when Brian said these words on NBC News.
Eyes at NASA are on the skies because of a comet coming in for its final turn around the sun. And if it survives that part of the trip, we are all in for a spectacular and multi-week-long show in the night sky. It is the comet Ison, and astronomers say it basically can trace its life back to the beginning of time. Already it's visible through telescopes and binoculars. If it survives the slingshot around the sun, it will be visible to the naked eye as a kind of bright but dirty snowball in the pre-dawn sky in the days approaching Christmas. We'll be tracking it, and we will let you know.
All right, so folks, we will be tracking it just as well. Matter of fact, a whole lot closer than Brian Williams and NBC News. So don't miss today's show. Whatever you do, be sure you're at my website, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Don't miss today's broadcast. I'm on from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. Our guest, Jesse Waltman, the scientist from BP Earthwatch, as we'll continue to find out the latest information. It's happening now by the hour on the Comet Ison. I'll be right back with more information on what happened last night in Montreal on the Comet Ison.